That is a good question, right? Because if you're running a double logbook, if you're changing your sign, then it does make sense because they can never catch you because you're running on a completely different sign, different logbook, right? But if you're just editing your logbooks, then that might get a little tricky to where if they request a printout, right? Wouldn't it like show it?
Yeah, but what's the worst they're gonna do to you?
Dude, that's a serious violation, dude.
The violation was calculated by the colleges, like the college, the law students. They're the one they give it to, be like, okay, you guys are the one. You guys should decide like what kind of violation or punishment should goes to the person who is driving, like not driving with like a massive hours like that, like being sleepy and all. So they came out with a really serious violation, but I never seen nothing like that happen though.
Yeah, but who cares if you've got company A, B, and C is dormant, and A and B are fucking just switching numbers and fucking around.
Yeah, but it's
and
not
then
that
you
easy.
lose
No,
A.
it's not that easy, bro. Because once you say you got a driver, right, and you switch them to a different MC number, like you're saying, that's on the driver's record, right? So
exactly.
So
Bobby.
next time he stops,
Yeah, but
they run his fucking record. They
driver.
see that. They're gonna look into that company more because now they already seen that this driver has this on his record. So it's kind of like being a criminal, having a criminal record, and you get pulled over by the police department. And if you have, like violence or whatever, they're gonna be like more strict on searching you and pulling a gun out to make sure they're safe. So it's like, like sure you could do it a couple times, but eventually they're gonna, the cops are gonna be like, okay, this guy has two fucking same log fucking whatever shit. So and for every company he drives for, he does this. So they're gonna be busting these companies left and right, dude. You can't just keep getting in trouble for that.
I get it, but that's not my point. The point is, if they don't give a fuck about the driver and they don't give a fuck about the company and they're not trying to build anything and they're just trying to make as much money, who gives a fuck if the driver gets busted in the company? They got to shut the doors. They just
because it's not cheap to keep on opening new companies, dude. Like, we're gonna just keep buying new companies and keep switching insurance. That's fucking expensive, dude. That's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, if you're running 3 times as much freight illegally, I mean,
even then it's not. Okay, so for opening a brand new company, you already know how many days you gotta wait to open up the DOT, and then you gotta wait. Once your DOT open, then it takes 15 to 20 days for your insurance to get active.
There you
go.
Not
then nobody wants to work with you because your
well, you can just buy them.
Old.
You can just buy an MC, bro, and just switch it over, dude. I mean, that's
you can.
Okay, so I seen one of this video. This guy was like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to overtalk nobody. So this guy was in the parking lot, and he was literally switching DOT and everything, right?
Yeah.
I dig in. I was like, yo, I want to find out because that everything was visible. So I want to find out. I love calling cops, man. I called him. I called the scale. I was like, hey, so how I can do that?
Bro?
Like, let's say, huh?
You can't be snitching out here like that, dude.
I'm not snitching on them. I was like, yo, if somebody has to change the signs in the company, how I can do it? Like, let's say I'm out of service and I gotta get out, right? What can happen? What I can do to be still run legally, right? Here, the cop was freaking awesome. I'm from California, right? He's like, here's one of the things that you can do since you are out of service, right? You cannot do anything. You cannot run the same truck until the time provided. But if you can lease your company to some different company who is running pretty good and all that, you got to get that paperwork, right? And it be all paperwork stamped and all that. It's leased to that company. So your company's stopped and you running your truck under their company and leasing paperwork are legal, you can switch signs legally and nobody can do nothing about it.
Oh. But then how are you gonna? But then if you have two drivers on two separate, I mean, basically it doesn't really matter, right? Because you could have the same driver in multiple companies. The only thing you probably have to pay extra for is the occupational hazard insurance, right? If you're 1099, I'm guessing.
That's only if you get caught.
Yeah, there you go. That's what was going through my mind. And the best way the driver should do that is through a 1099.
See, but this puts me between a rock and a hard place, dude. Because, like, when I started trucking, like, everybody was falsifying their paper logs. You know what I mean? That was a normal thing. Like, when I was dispatching trucks, like, if I had drivers that, if I didn't give them 1,000 miles a day, 900 miles a day minimum, they'd be pissed off at me. You know what I mean? So, like, it's kind of like I'm between a rock and a hard place is because, like I kind of, like, agree with, like, trying to push the limits to make some extra money. But at the same time, it's like I guess it's kind of fucked up to say, but then like, but if you come here illegally and you do it and then you hurt somebody, like it's bad. But at the same time, I have to say it's
Dude,
bad if you're here legally and do it and hurt somebody as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just fucking.
I don't get it. Anybody in their right mind should rather run 250 miles for $1,000 and fuck off the rest of the day than run 700 miles for $1,200.
Well, yeah, but if you're
I
running
agree.
if you're
Like-
running 700 miles for 2,500 bucks, then that makes sense. But the driver really don't care because like the drivers really should just care about miles, right? If they're a driver, like if you're speaking on the side of an owner operator. So if you're owner operator, you're owning your equipment, it's going to make more sense to you to whatever your minimum 1,000, 1,200 hours per day. You know, the less miles, the better. That makes sense. But if you're a driver and you're depending on getting miles, you want to run the miles to get the biggest check possible. So it's kind of like two different sides of the
I
coin, you
got it.
know.
I just don't get how you can run a truck that cheap.
Well,
I
I mean,
agree.
well, we
I
already
agree.
figured that out. You know, you hire people, you pay them 30 cents, you bring on these visas, pay them 30 cents less, you give the broker 10 cents less to beat the competition,
Right.
and you're still up 20 cents. You know what I mean? So we kind of already figured
So
Yeah.
figured that part
here's
out.
how California does it. So like behalf of like some of the drivers that I find out that I love talking to, right? Like, yo, how much you getting paid and stuff from California and all that. So California does not cover drivers who are less than I think 1 year driver license older and whatever, right?
hmm
So they put insurance on the person who have like over 2 years old or 1 year old, right? And the other person who's a trainee or whatever, they get along, but not covered under an insurance,
Yeah, so you shouldn't
and
be doing
they're
shit like that, bro.
paying way
Because like
less.
once you start getting into not covering insurance, just pulling sneaky shit like that, that's when shit gets fucked up. Really quick, because
Exactly.
Crusader said you can't buy
I got a
MCs
question
nowadays. It's
for you.
different. Crusader, I could buy 10 MCs tomorrow if I wanted to, bro. What are you saying? You could 100% buy MCs, and it's easier than ever, bro. And you can still keep all the old information, email addresses, everything, bro. Super easy to buy an MC if you
I
wanted
needed
to.
that.
Exactly.
So,
Hey, let me ask you something. Can you hear me?
yes, sir.
Hey,
Bless you.
we got a guy. I'm an owner operator. We got a guy that runs 1,000 miles a day, and I don't, and they're cheating the logs, and I have the opportunity to do it. I really don't like to do it, but every now and then it just works out. However, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, how in the world doesn't a DOT guy come in and do the audit for the IFTA?